What is going on? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? How on a day, how on a day, how on a day, how on a day? What's going on? What's going on? How on a day? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Shout out to you all. Let's put on a good show. Let's get on the show. If you can hear me, just let me know loud and clear. Just say loud and clear in the chat area. That way we can make sure you can hear me. Shout out to you, Bagavad. Good to see you. D Love family, good to see you. Chinye, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, and thank you. Yes. All right. Awesome. Thank you. I see that. I see that. All right. So we will continue to talk about this guy today because obviously the lesson is not over. In fact, let me go pull up a video that it's going to be necessary for us to review today. We're talking about Kanye West. Still talking about Kanye West. People like him, they won't stop until they hit rock bottom. Rock bottom is not necessarily your own rock bottom. It's just somewhere where they feel like it's enough is enough. So today we're going to be reviewing particularly 5 different relationships that he's had with women, but I'm also going to go back and pull up an article of all the women he's been dealing with since as far as back as a website called Page 6 can trace back. Let me see. I'm looking for. Let's see. Where's that video? Okay, there you go. I think I found it. There you go. All right, we're gonna pull up this video. All right, we're gonna talk about this video, which was done on October 7th. Just a very short video. We're gonna review that really quickly. There's another video that just came out in the last 24 to 48 hours that I feel like we have to review as well. Okay, we're going to review this video together. All right. And then another video we're going to review is this video right here. All right, we're also going to review that video right there. And then another thing we're going to review together. Again, as usual, we just want to extract the lessons. He's a celebrity. I hope he's going to be fine. I hope he will get a good bounce back, based on history, it's almost impossible. But I really hope he gets a bounce back. If Donald Trump can become a president in the United States, I hope I really hope that Kanye West gets a bounce back, because to be, it won't discount the lessons if he gets a decent bounce back, right? If he can eventually, let's say 3, 4, 5 years from now, he can become a figure that people can say, oh wow, he went through that, he bounced back. Even Donald Trump is one of those type of stories too, right? The Femi Otedola has that similar story too. People make mistakes, people make mistakes and they have to learn, the hard way, so some people never get a second chance. That's why if I were you, I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk the idea that I may get a second chance. All right. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started really quick. All right. Welcome back. Thumbnail inspired you. Thumbnail inspired by you. Yes, you picked that up, right? Let me see if I can pull up the thumbnail really quickly. So okay, show it, right? Let me see here. Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Egungun, be careful. Exactly. Yep, you're absolutely correct, Bagava. That thumbnail was inspired by you. and I actually create I create two different thumbnails for each live session, you know. And which one do you guys like the best? This one or let me show you the second one, or this one? Which one do you prefer? And if you were to guess, right, first of all, which one do you prefer? This one or this one? All right. They both have two different messages. Yeah, there's a message in each thumbnail. I try to embed a message in each thumbnail. Okay. And I think I should still talk about what is Egungun for all my non-Yoruba speaking people today. Which one do you prefer? This one or, let me go back to this one, or this one? Right? Okay, which one is the first one? I'm confused now. Which one did I show first? The one with the crying, is that the first one? Is this the first one? Is this the first one right here? Bagaba said both. Which one do you prefer if you had to pick one now? Masquerade equals to Manwu in Igbo. I'm learning something. That's Manwu. Is it Manwu or Manwu? Which one? I don't know how to. The one with the crying is the first one. Okay. So it's the one you prefer? Or this one? They both have a message in it, right? They both have a message in it that's deeper than Kanye West. Okay, so this one, let me see. Let me go back to your comments. D-Love says 1. Chinye said 1, 2. Bagaba said 2, which means this one, right? What is the message, if you could guess? What do you think the message is in the first and the second one? They have two different messages, right? The second pronunciation was the closest. Mawu. Okay, Mawu. Okay, I thought so. You prefer the second one by the message. What's the message? What's the message do you think I'm trying to portray here? Right? What is what do you think the message is on this second one? Bagaba said, and by the edit. First by the edit, yeah. The first one. I'll wait. Let me see if you guys can guess what the message is, you know. D-Love, this is funny. This is very, very funny. 1, which is this one, is, oh, I'm screwed. And the 2 is like, don't be like me. Don't be like me. Okay, all right. I could see that. I could definitely see what you're seeing, you know. All right, so the second one is more of everyone is saying, okay. The first one is a side of the people are saying that he's screwed. He will never bounce back. Okay. That's more on the side I was on until I saw the video that we're about to review today. Okay. I still feel that way, you know, but I'm the first to always talk about, let's not judge, right? Let's tread lightly when it comes to judgment. Let's be careful blanketing out people or counseling people when we haven't taken out the speck in our own eyes, right? So that's more like me. But my first feeling, obviously, based off of the video that I did on October 7th, based off of the live session that I did on October 7th, is basically this. And which about 19 days later, my prediction came true, right? But again, thank goodness that my prediction coming through did not involve life or death, right? He has an opportunity of a second chance, and I believe strongly in second chances. personally. So the second one is more like, oh, it's not like don't be like me. That's not what the second one is. The second one is like, oh, this guy is a prophet. He's been predicting all his life. He's a genius. Right? And what do we tell geniuses, right? What do we tell geniuses? We tell them, Egungun, be careful. Right? Now, express you they go. Now, Egungun is it's a masquerade. Okay? It's a masquerade. It's okay, because masquerade means masking also, but it's a character of a lot of traditional festivals in Yoruba land, but apparently in the Igbo land too. I'm not sure if Hausa people participate in masquerade festivals, but basically they dress up like you're looking at behind Kanye West right now. They dress up, people watch them. It's an all-day celebration. Sometimes, what I remember is that they chase the kids around with a whip, and I was always afraid of the whip for obvious reasons. If you were raised in Nigeria, it's a good chance you're afraid of the whip, because not only did your parents use the whip on you, the teachers use the whip on you as a form of correction. Hopefully, there's more and more awareness around understanding that the whip does not necessarily train kids, But yes, the masquerade is right there. So the idea is there's this guy. I'm not sure if it was the inventor of the saying that Egungun, be careful. It was Obesere. It's an artist in Nigeria, musician in Nigeria, and he did a song which is Egungun. They dance around. They have a mask on, but they can see. But they also call them Araorun. Araorun means people from heaven, I guess. I'm not sure if heaven is a direct translation to Orun in Yoruba, because obviously we know today that that Ajayi Crowder did not do the best job in terms of translating religious words into Yoruba language. But you get the gist. That's topic for another day, So Ara Orun means heaven. Ara Orun, people of heaven. Okay, maybe people of divine people of some sort, something like that, But bottom line is that they are believed to not belong amongst us. They come for the festival and they return. The truth is that they actually dress up in someone's house, in their family house. There's usually a family, okay, like a family that as in that family, in that household over there, in that compound, they practice or they worship Egun. They participate heavily in Egungun festival, So when they're dancing and they're dancing on the street and stuff like that, there's this saying that, hey, Egungun, be careful. Now express you they go. Egungun, be careful. You are entering express. The cars don't know the difference between people from heaven and people from earth. You will get crushed. You will get smashed by a trailer if you dance into the highway. That's the whole point. So why are we using that for Kanye West? Over the past few weeks, we saw some moves. Over here at Man of Prestige, we noticed some moves that seemed like somebody is about to lose everything. As a matter of fact, let me show you. Okay, as a matter of fact, this was, let me see if I can still find it. Let me show you the thumbnail from that particular session on October 7th. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I found it. Yay. Good thing we keep records. Okay. Today we're talking about relationships as usual. By the way, we're talking about relationships. So hang in there. We're going to get to the lessons. This was the thumbnail. Losing everything. Funny enough, at that time, we had a clown behind him at that time. Right? We had a clown. Some people may want to do a loose translation of a clown to a masquerade because they wear a mask as well, right? But they serve different purposes and from two different cultures altogether, So the Hausas, they do. Okay, the Hausas, they practice masquerade festivals as well. Okay. They were ruthless with the whip. Okay, so did they use the whip also in the Igbo land? Did they? Masquerade is seen as weird, extraordinary, untouchable, and superior to men. Yes, that's why they call them Ararum. Okay, so in some type of twisted way, we can also see Kanye West as that, because a lot of people really feel like he's some type of prophet that can see things that we can't see, right? Like he's some type of prophet, right? So again, it's a lot of correlations there in this story, you know. They then we know whether na person and na spirit you be exactly. So when you dance, and you enter the highway, we will figure out if you are a spirit from heaven. At that point in time, I will be betting that you're probably going to get crushed by a trailer on that highway, especially that you have a mask on, which means you have a reduced visibility, right? Oh wow, so they use whips. I didn't know that. Well, I'm learning too, right? Anyway, so today we let's get into this particular video. So on October 7th, this video happened. This video right here. Change his ways quickly. If he doesn't change his ways quickly, he's going to lose everything. Everything. Money is a byproduct. It's just energy. It flows to where people take care of it. Okay, when I say take care of it, you don't worship it. It just means you respect it, because we all need money, right? And with some of the things that money follow, we know that money follows attention, right? We know that, right? But attention of what? Attention from who? Attention to who? To people, right? Oh, so attention, we're talking about attention of people, right? So when people start to feel unsafe, all the authorities and the corporate structure that governs, that controls what people consume, when they start to feel unsafe about how you move, guess what they're going to do? They will completely destroy you. They don't mind destroying you. Because why? Because if they don't destroy you, you will destroy everything for them now. You get the gist? Say yes. Yes, you got the gist. Yes. Yes. You know? So, geniuses, all these geniuses, they don't get it. Like, I'm a genius. I see what I see, you don't see, and you're just suffering. You're suffering, and I want you to stop suffering. But people are like, no, I know that I'm not suffering. I'm okay. But you're like, no, I'm just going to tell you the truth anyway. But then in that same breath, you want to be selling t-shirts. Make it make sense. It's not making sense, Kanye. It's not. Do you want to sell t-shirts, or you want to, which one? Right? All right. So that was on October 7th. This was recorded on October 7th. At that point in time, it was what, last time they checked, it was worth about $2 billion. Okay. On October 26th, today is what? October 31st, 2022. On October 26th, he lost more than 3/4 of his net worth. And some people said, no, he was worth 10 billion. He didn't lose nothing. Nah, he's gonna bounce back. Right? Well, it's kind of funny. Why is it that they're comfortable celebrating it when Forbes comes out and say, hey, this guy is worth $2 billion? Everybody's like, yeah, Kanye is worth $2 billion. It's the richest black man in America. But then, the moment the same authority, Forbes, comes out and say, well, today you're worth only $400 million. Everybody's like, nah, they're lying. They're just trying to destroy him. Like, no. You have to keep the same energy. You have to keep the same energy now, right? You're the same authority that gave you that title, the credibility that makes everybody respect you as a genius. Everybody want to do business with you. That same authority comes out and says, hey, You're only worth a certain amount of money right now, right? So he actually came out and claimed he lost $2 billion himself. Okay. So that's what happened on between October 7, 19 days apart on this same platform. Listen, I'm not trying to. I just want to keep letting everyone know that there's some things that are just predictable. If you pay attention to some of these patterns, some things are just predictable. He wasn't wrong. Up till now, there's nothing that Kanye said. I don't think he's making up stuff. I really don't think he's making up anything at all. He wasn't wrong. And if you pay attention to what we do here at Man of Prestige, rarely do we ever point out that anyone is wrong, because at the end of the day, everyone has the right to be right.
Well, you're right.
But you can be right and you can create the wrong outcome. And also we can trace that to certain patterns since the beginning of mankind, since everything we know in the history of mankind. We can just see some things. Okay? As a matter of fact, there's something I gotta show you today that I really cannot afford to forget as part of the lessons. My father shared this with me yesterday. Okay, my brother and I, we were actually arguing about this. Okay, about Kanye West. He has some different take on it, right? But last, my father showed me some things, and I'm gonna be sharing it with you. Okay, as part of the lessons here that correlates with what we're talking about. Okay, so let's see here. In some of the towns in Anambra State, the masquerades do a whipping competition where they whip each other with Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh wow, that's crazy. Anyway, so shout out to all 13 of you watching me. Shout out to all of you. Let's get into this video that Kanye did yesterday. Okay, and then we have to visit some of his relationships with women. As men, our relationships with women can be a good indication of how we operate, even in the world of business, in society at large. Yes, women have the absolute power to see, one of the few times I will ever use the word absolute in to make an absolute expression. Women have the absolute power to destroy you if you move like Kanye West. Okay? Maybe today we'll get to some of those lessons. Gentlemen, pay attention. You don't speak a lot in the chat, but I know you're watching. Pay attention. Okay? Ladies, pay attention, because your children, your sons, they're going to need to learn this, and you may just be the last person left to share this with them when they become of age, right? So let's get into this Kanye West video from yesterday. Let's see.
Demonizing or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like a mythical battle.
What was that?
All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type of wording that's in the contracts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but
What did he say? He said the Jewish people run everything. Where's the lie? Personally, I detect no lies. Of course, it's generalization, right? But for a good reason. Okay? We just know they are powerful people, right? As a matter of fact, there's only so many times I can say Jewish in this video before it gets demonetized just for saying it. I'm just being honest with you, okay? That's the reality. That's part of the things that I feel like black men really need to start to understand when it comes to power. The black man needs to understand that part of the variables in power is your population. Population, literally. Okay? I said the number of people in your, Then secondly, I'm gonna say your ability to come together as one body for one voice without worrying about what is right and wrong. If you have a tendency to get stuck in right and wrong, you don't understand power. Okay? The very idea that your mindset is circulating around right and wrong already tells me that you don't even understand what we call moral compass. Right or wrong based off of what? All right? And the people you're dealing with, the people you may consider enemy, all the things, all the powers, right? You know what the scripture says, we fight not the flesh. Right? You're fighting principalities in high places, unseen things, right? So when you get stuck in right and wrong, this world just laugh at you because you clearly don't understand power. Does that mean you should run around town and do wrong things? No, that's not what I am saying. What I am saying is that that's actually below bare minimum required of you if you want to have power as a people, right? So even if what you're saying is right, you need to be aware that it's not enough to be right. It's just not enough. I'm sorry. It's not enough. Okay? It's not enough. As a matter of fact, it's never enough. And it's never going to be enough. Why? Because we're people. We're human beings. There's too many variables. And at the end of the day, there are territories. And it's about invading to take over territories. And if you're not willing to invade, I'm not talking about necessarily physically, right? I'm also talking about mentally. If you're not willing to invade, someone else is going to invade your territory anyway. It's the reality. You can think of it as a mini survival of the fittest, right? May the best winner win. May the best person win. You're always competing. Either you realize it or not. Either you admit to it or not. Okay? It's just the reality. And like I always said, you can avoid reality all you want. You can't avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. This is a big thing that the black men need to understand. Just because you're exposed to certain or you're previewed to certain information, you haven't achieved power yet. Okay? Not yet. Maybe you're a little bit closer, but what you do with that information is the next move now. It's something that requires a lot of wisdom. Beyond, I know what, let me just tell the whole world. It may be a smart move, you may be a genius for knowing things that we don't know, but clearly you lack wisdom. You don't understand how this world works. Let's continue the video.
That actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you
Jewish...
regret your statements?
Are the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, vilified. I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay.
All right. So that person is saying to him that, hey, you might think you're right, but it's a whole world out there. What is he trying to say? There's a market. There are people. The people is the actual power. It's all about people. If you, by any stretch of your imagination, discount people, you will always fail, right? So you have to respect the people. It's the same thing we'll call the public, right? It's almost, let me tell you something. I'm going to use that today as doing business with the devil. The people are the devil. You can't do business with the devil and then suddenly become a prophet. That's not how that works. What do I mean by doing business with the devil? Your whole net worth is surrounding the idea that you have a deal with Adidas. You can't just take that and then wake up one day and then say, hey, I'm the prophet. I can see what they can see and I can run my mouth. Egungun, be careful. Right? But Patrick, good to see you. He says, I really pity Kanye. His financial loss came up so quickly. It's a great lesson. Anyone is disposable like that. That's the lesson. Even if you're not black, how much more if you're black? I'm sorry. That's the reality. Because we're still trying to figure our way around this world as black men. Right? So how much more if you're black? You can, like that, disposable, replaceable, just like that. Can you still have a good life? Of course. Many of us have a good life, right? It's about learning how to navigate. It's not about learning how to be right. It's about learning how to navigate this very, very dangerous world, especially men. Okay? The more you get caught up in your emotions, the less powerful you are. And it starts with your relationship with women. If you can't handle one woman, how are you going to handle the rest of the world? The biggest feminine ball of energy out there. Chaotic. All over the place. You can't handle one woman because she's emotional yesterday and the emotion is a little bit different today. And then you think you're going to handle the world. Listen, you know what they call money misroad? Oh, Laura Kanye West. You can jam money, but you can also lose it like that because of your mouth, because of one sentence. And if you say like, oh, these people just don't want the truth or anything like that, they just won't want the truth, they want to silence a black man who knows the truth and all this kind of stuff. If that's what you want to run around town and say, guess what? As usual.
Well, you're right.
But it's just not relevant to what we're talking about. We're talking about creating better outcomes for yourself. Time is not on your side. And everything in between, depending on what you do with your time. Time is literally life, right? So am I saying if you know the truth, never say no? I think you should do what you deem fit. But you should also understand that there's a price. There's a price. Okay? It could be your life. Okay? Let's not be delusional. That's all I'm saying.
So this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
All right, so something that he needs to understand that is yet to understand is that the executives in the grand scheme of things don't really matter. It depends on what context you're dealing with. It depends on what context matters to you the most. For some of us, it's our family, a little bit of extended family here and there, right? And that's the context we're dealing with. And all we care about is just make sure that those people have a healthy lifestyle, quality lifestyle, and within this context. Some people say, you know what? I'm Martin Luther King. Some people say, you know what? I want to save the whole of the Christian race, right? Everyone's purpose is different, you know, but your purpose is your purpose as an individual, right? So everyone is different. So the fact that there are executives, which is what it was referencing with the red media, right? And they're executives and they make all of this decision. At the end of the day, these executives care about something. What is it that they care about? Right? Why are they in business? Right? They're in business with people for a reason. If they're regular human beings like the rest of us and they're in business and all you have to do is pay attention to what is it that they care about and learn how to navigate that to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish within that context. Whatever your context that you're looking for success in. So if you're Kanye West and you're trying to save all of the black race, we need to be consistent with that. You can't turn around one day and do White Lives Matter and do it as a matter of fact with middle fingers to the black people. And then 2 weeks later, you turn around and say they're suppressing us as black people. Bro, gentlemen, one of the things that you're going to be tested for a lot in this dangerous world is consistency. Consistency. That's one of the things you're going to be tested for a lot. How consistent are you? It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, but we need to know you for what you stand for. What do you stand for? Are you consistent? Right? If every now and then you find yourself switching back and forth between one belief system and the other belief system, and then in that same breath you're doing business with the devil, and then you come back and you say, oh, these people are the devil, but you did business with the devil. You don't get to call them the devil unless you're ready to say, I'm part of the devil too, right? So let's keep going right now. Let's keep going. Hey, Lady Navua, good to see you.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Is that what happened?
Well, what I said is, hey, you know, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on, and I didn't realize that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation.
You know why he didn't realize that it was going to be considered anti-Semitic? Because he wasn't listening. Like a lot of men that we have nowadays. They don't listen. Why is it that you're saying men don't listen? What about women? Dude, you're the man. Men don't listen. Stop doing whataboutism. After all, we don't like women to do whataboutism. What about the women? What about the men? After all, we don't. Why are you doing? Here are men of prestige, right? I'm talking to you, right? Do women have responsibilities in this? Yes. Well, we'll get there. If you listen long enough, patience, right? We'll talk about that at the right time. You know? So it's very, very important that we pay attention to this, right? You're not listening. If you listen long enough, you would have known that the certain one word is all you have to say, and it's offensive, right? Then sometimes, even if you're listening long enough, there are less chances you say the wrong things. Oh yes, when you're doing so, potentially people that don't know any better may call you pandering. But again, you need to focus on what your personal goals are and stay focused on that and let people have their opinion. Right? Are you pandering to Jewish people? You don't want to tell them the truth? Their opinions don't really matter. But again, you worship them with the t-shirt, White Lives Matters, then you run back and you're doing back and forth. It's confusing. When you do that, even the market will respond. Why are we talking about the market? Because suddenly you are worth $2 billion. Literally hours later, you're worth only $400 million. That's the market saying something. Oh, it's not the market, it's the executives, dude. It's the market. They're called authority. When they say ping, people say ping, 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 ping. That's how the market works. If you're not doing business with them at all, then you have the freedom of speech. You have the freedom to create blurry lines between freedom of speech and hate speech. You get to decide what is what. But when you do business with them, it's like people who run a business on the streets and they're like, oh, I'm the boss. No, the customer is your boss. The customer can decide not to do business with you anymore. You always have a boss. It's a mindset thing. It's humility. Let's keep going.
With Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs, and I feel like right now I feel like that was in Christianity we don't say karma, we say you reap what you sow. And I feel like this was God humbling me right now, because there's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, oh, I'm the richest black man, it would be a defense that I would use for.
At that point when he said, I feel like, first of all, the fact that he was comfortable enough to say, I feel like, there's a lot of lame men running around that don't want to say, I feel, even though exactly what they're doing is feeling. Okay? Oh, I think, I don't feel. No, you're lame if you say things like that. Okay? We all feel. Okay? We all feel. You can cap it all you want with thinking. No, you feel. You're a human being. You're not a robot. You feel. So number one, he gained a little bit of respect from me by saying, I feel like, in that moment. And when he added that to, God is humbling me. That's basically all the noise I've been making since October 7th. That's all. Listen, he lost $2 billion in one day. He can gain multiple of that back in one day again. They can wake up one day and say, hey, he created a design and it's worth so amount of dollars. Again, Asan Lori Asan is vanity anyway, okay? If the markets feel more comfortable with him again, it's consistent long enough, they will trust him again, they will give him the market again. That's why you can't carry dollar value on your head, because it's very flaky. It can disappear, it can come back, right? But the thing is that you might end up being a casualty in the middle of comeback and back and forth. So you don't want to keep repeating that, because eventually you lose all the credibility you have if you keep doing that, right? But if it's a one-off, it's not really a big deal. Eunice, good to see you, Eunice. Good to see you, BC. I saw you earlier, BC. BC Ade. Black people don't care what Kanye says anymore. He has turned his back on us on very crucial issues. Too bad for him. Oh, really? So now you realize that God is humbling you. Hey, for me, I'll give him a chance. But it's not about me, right? It's a whole market involved. So he has to be consistent. And if I were him, I would shut up for 6 months. If I were him, all it takes is 6 months. People forget. We get over it. The market forget. They move on to another story. They're like, oh yeah, we miss him. Because what do? We look into the past with rose gold color lens, right? If you stay out of people's face and stop talking so much, they start remembering all the good things they know about Kanye. But what does he want to do? He wants to talk. He wants to talk. Even this talking is not necessary. It's a need to be right. He's suddenly Christian who remembers the scriptures. Don't we all do that? We remember God when there's crisis. We all do that. You know, Kanye is a toxic level reflection of what we are, you know, and that's why I can relate, because listen, I can see where this is going. There's arrogance, there's pride in this. Listen, you're a genius. You don't have to tell us over and over again. Oh, you're just jealous. Okay, all right. I'm jealous. I hear you, right? This is why when people become lunatics, Yoruba people say, where sometimes you just mind your business, because they're going to tell you you're jealous. Maybe that's why a lot of people couldn't stop him. I'm sure there's somebody in his camp that's like, dude, Egungun, be careful. Express you they go. And he's like, nah, he's a genius, man. Everybody respect him. Like, dude, everyone is replaceable and disposable. Everyone. I've put out all my air just listening to his crap. Sorry, Eunice. I'm sure he's actually saying that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, I think he has it in him, but he needs, like I said on that session, he needs someone in his camp to hold him accountable. Yeah. Someone that would tell him, stop the bullshit. Like, just stop. Completely. Everyone need that. Sometimes you need solitude. Sometimes you need to go away somewhere and be quiet. Because the more you're talking, you're giving away your energy. You will see me do that here sometimes. I may just take a few days off. You guys may not notice I did that last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. I need to breathe. I was trying to go straight, like, at some point I'm like, I need to breathe. Because you're pouring so much out, even though it's good stuff for other people, you're getting drained. Because again, how long does it take to lose $1.6 billion? One moment. How long does it take to become a billionaire? One moment. That's it. It doesn't take that's why you shouldn't work to kill yourself either. All those hours that you keep working. That money is never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough. Vanity upon vanity. Oh, this is a very sick man walking around us. After listening to him, I think he got in his head. I'm not sure if he's that crazy. Nothing he's saying is necessarily wrong. It's just that he's running his mouth. That is wrong. Oh, it's not wrong to run your mouth. It's going to create a wrong outcome. You're going to create terrible results running your mouth. You're going to give away all the ammunitions that the enemy will use to destroy you for talking too much, especially as a man. Yes, you talk too damn much is a real thing. I have to be careful of that because clearly I do this talk show here. So there's a part of me that's naturally talkative in nature. I have to be careful with that. He always put God's name in his mouth. He did a whole gospel album that I think he won a Grammy for that, But you all know that really doesn't mean anything, right? Go away, exactly. Go somewhere, be quiet. We do that. We say that to kids a lot. Adults need it the most. Take some time off. Yes, time makes people to forget when you ignore and not talk. They forget. There's more than enough people, clowns, that will give us more story to extract lessons from. As for you, go away somewhere and be quiet. Kanye. I blame people who purchase those ghostly clothes Kanye sells. It's the market. The market like what they like. We're all torn and raggedy. I'm not sure is that all he sells. I think that's just for the fashion show, right? I never followed this stuff, so I don't know. Outside of some of the hit music, he needs to learn humility 101. PDD even tried to be cordial to tell him to be careful. Yes, we covered that on that story, right? On October 7th. But guess what? He was the genius. He was smarter than Diddy. When people are quiet and they seem like they're not saying a lot, and you're like, oh, they just dumbass. Listen, there's a good chance, just a chance. You could be right, remember? Just a chance they know something that you don't know. Just a chance. It's wisdom to learn to be muted at some time. You don't respond to everything, else one become irrelevant and a nuisance. Yes, even when you are right. Actually, most of the time, you're right.
You're right.
Most of the time, you're actually right. Kanye can't sit still, Ola. I know. He craves controversial attention. I give it to him that he's a great artist, but his mouth will delete him all. That's the scariest part about all of this, right? But I think he's lucky right now. I hope he's lucky. I hope that this is a good second chance. I think he can bounce back again. As much as cancellation is a real thing, people are getting canceled left and right. I do think that the society, if you know how to back off, just back off for a second and just go and be quiet. The society is very lenient and they will give you another chance. But of course, those that are getting cancelled, what do they say? Oh, they don't want me to speak. Where's free speech? Dude, this has nothing to do with free speech. I'm just going to tell you straight up right now. Okay, it has everything to do with free speech. But there's never been free speech. That's something you don't... Again, the black man refused to understand that anything that's written on paper is paper. That's one thing, separate. The other thing that you need to learn is wisdom. Beyond paper, beyond legalities. Why are you talking about free speech? There's no such thing. Okay, there is. So I don't run my mouth too, right? But don't you get what I'm saying? It doesn't exist. Not free speech. The it doesn't exist. You offend the wrong people, you're destroyed, because the market is about the people. And when I say people, there are certain groups of people that are just that powerful because they know how to come together even when they're wrong. But you're stuck on right and wrong. Our women just need to do the right thing. Dude, the women are the product of the men in the society 100% of the time in this social construct. I don't know about 50 years from now. Right now, it's still that way. Let's continue this video a little bit.
The mental health conversation. To say, oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money.
That's what I said.
But that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that, because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right now is I'm being humbled. Another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. So when I went to the mediation, what I want to say is, like, black people are like, okay, Lex Friedman got you to apologize, Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now the thing is, okay,
keep that at the back of your mind. He apologized to the Jewish people first. Black men. He apologized. The reality, I don't care what it should be or what it could be or what it would be. The reality is he apologized to the Jewish people first. What does that tell you? They will always be first in terms of who Kanye West apologized to first. That speaks volume. They had to tell him on the, what is he called it? What is it? I forgot the word he used for it. That he used in court. Mediation. Right? Are you still fighting to be right? Or you don't realize that it's about coming together? You want to be right so much, you just don't know. Should you be right? You're right already. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You've been right all along. Still, your result, your outcome is not right. Don't you think there's something going on there that you should pay attention to?
I see that video as a black person, it hurts my feelings, and I know that police do attack, and America is generally racist. And I understand that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right?
He's over talking. He's right. It's the idea of it. Remember what we said about white lives matter, black lives matter? It wasn't literal, you dummy. It's a saying, it's an idea, it's a mindset, it's a response to is within certain context. But of course, the black man, I'm generalizing, of course, does not want everything's got to be literal. No, it's never literal. It's never literal. It's always some kind of hyperbole, a parable. So you got to listen beyond just your mouth and what you're hearing at any point in time. Be patient, because it just may not be what you're hearing. Patient for how long? Longer than a moment, at least. Right? Longer than just a moment. Let them say at least 3 sentences before you have something to say. But you can't even wait. Your blood is boiling. You must say something shiny. Right? Even now, he's over talking. The idea of it. Did you know somebody who is really, really gung-ho on Black Lives Matter can hear that and say, you think it's an idea, you're still offensive. That's why I always tell people, don't be so quick to apologize, because your apology can actually be offensive. It's not about being right. Don't you get it? It's about people's feelings, emotions at all times. At every single time. It's about, we only give a shit about what we feel. Every human being, not just women, every human being. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can finish this video. Let me see what you all are talking about, because even already more than enough, right? Oh, Ola, you give people so many chances. After 2 chances, move on. But then again, we always need patient people like you on earth. Yes, yes, yes. And it's not about them. If you're talking about us talking about him, it's about the lessons. Ola, do you talk a lot? I intentionally don't talk a lot, but it's intentions. It's from an intentional place. It's because I know that it can destroy me. Okay. Naturally, as a child, I was a very quiet person. As I grew into my manhood, like in my teenage years, I started having very, very strong opinions. So I had strong opinions more so than I would talk a lot. I think my wife being my best friend made me talk a lot more than I used to talk. And then I had to back off a little bit from that. So from an intentional place, no, I don't talk a lot, okay? As a matter of fact, creating this show was an outlet for me to avoid talking a lot in my personal circles, where I can literally destroy myself with talking a lot. So I don't know if that makes sense. I thought you are in between though. Yes, you could say that. You could say I'm in between. Yep. Since he's a Christian, according to the Bible, it's 70 by 7 times, isn't it? Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, we're forgiven. As human race, human beings are very forgiving. It's when you don't know how to back off that it seems like they're not forgiving. Sometimes you just need to let the cloud clear. Back off of the subjects, right? If you've offended somebody, you backing off will work much more effective than you apologizing so quick. For that moment in time, back off. That works. That's a lot more effective than, oh, let me just please, Mabinu, I'm sorry. That actually destroys things more, because they hate you in that moment, right? So, but even if an apology is necessary, let it be a function of time. And I prefer that you're clear that they want an apology. But offering apology unsolicited, more often than not, just works against you, you know. Boosie also, yeah, Boosie, right? Little Boosie also tried to caution Kanye, basically pleading with him. It was begging him. But what? Kanye was the genius. You don't know nothing? How much are you worth exactly? Maybe you should listen to me for advice. Right? That's what he said to Piers Morgan, right? You know, Ajatoba Masonu. Cooking buffet or day. Somebody help me translate that. If you translate it well, I will pull it to the screen. Ajatoba Masonu. Cooking buffet or day. Okay? Yeah. Let's see. Bhagavan, I remember the scripture. It's the reason God is God. I need to learn patience. Yes, it's the reason why God is God. That is so profound. That is profound. Patience is the reason why God is God. Mad, oh, mad. Let me see here. Let's see. It's free. Mindrel, I see you. I'm coming right to you. It's free, but there are consequences. Yeah, the free speech, right? Yeah, it's still free. You can run your mouth. Of course, you don't have to pay money to run your mouth. That's true, yeah. Right? But there are consequences. Ultimately, you know the deal. Yeah, because they clipped his damn wings. Thank you. They clipped your wing. You're using other people's platform that your people did not build. And somehow you're still entitled. See, entitlement is a terrible spirit too. You know, they dictate the market. Exactly. They run the market. There are executives. They will shut down the market. It comes down to, that's why they call them authority. You know, because black people did not react the way Jewish did. This is some of the struggles that we have, you know. As we there's a lot of things that goes into that, you know. But presently, we know that we're not going to react. Maybe because, for many reasons, it could be because we're dormant. It could also be because, hey, people have their family to protect. They're still living in a society, and they're like, you know what, I'm okay with this. You have to factor all of that in as a powerful person. You know, 50 people are watching and only 7 likes. Don't do me like that, people. Please don't do me like that. Hit the like button. Thank you so much for that, BCAD. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. These are the best sessions here. I think someone needs to tell him to stay off media for now. They're probably telling him he's not gonna listen. He's not gonna listen. Exactly. Plus, black people do not own those businesses to take them away. Although black people could have boycott his products to hit his pocket, they won't do it. That's part of our problems. They won't do it. But I don't blame the people. The leadership of the people is what needs to step their game up. The people are the people for a reason. Just like women are women for a reason, that I tell men all the time. Your children are children for a reason, right? We don't get to blame the people. You can try. It's not gonna work. It gets worse. Okay? It just gets worse. Now they have to find out how to overwhelm you and create new leaders. That's gonna be a process. It's an organic process eventually to happen, but lives will pass away first. But if you are a leader right now in that society, you have to pay attention to that. When you talk too much, you go to mission. That's a fact. That's a fact. I don't care how perfect you think you are, or a good talker, a speech therapist, or I said speech therapist, a speaker, a trained speaker. You know. Let me be my brother to the stage. What's going on, Midrell? How are you?
Hello, Ola. Can you hear me?
What's going on, man? How are you? I can hear you.
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm great, man. I know you were on my side all the while. I know, because I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Kanye got himself into a pickle. He's stupid. He really is. People think he's a genius, but I'm like, this is not genius level intellect, people. It's not. Like, how do you say he's a genius after this? After all the antics he's done over the years.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just a label. We could call him a genius. If they want to call him a genius, sure. Go ahead, bro.
He's not a genius. And my thing is, okay, he's not getting himself in trouble. He comes up with this fake apology. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, what's it gonna take? What's it gonna take?
Your mic is choppy.
Oh,
your mic is choppy again. I need to hear what you have to say. You wanna drop in and come back in?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds better.
Oh, it sounds better. Okay. Yeah, I cleared out a lot of tabs and stuff I had running in the background. Okay. That might have cleared things up. But yeah, out of all the antics and stuff he's put up over the years, how do you call him a genius? This is not genius level intellect. Geniuses don't behave this way.
You know, maybe they're like a prophet or something. They can see what we don't see. Even my father said yesterday, like, you know, a prophet sometimes will be like mad people. There's a part of the scriptures that says that prophets sometimes will come off as crazy. I don't know the exact verbatim in the Bible, but you know, but I'm still going to share the details of what my father shared with me, because I think that's actually the bigger lessons here. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, why make him the prophet then? This guy can't formulate a full sentence. What do you mean? What do you mean, prophet? I mean, the guy makes one sentence and he's jumped from 4 to 5 different subjects in one sentence, Ola.
Yeah.
4 to 5 different subjects. I'm like, dude, makes sense. Okay, just stick to one topic and make a point. He can't do it. He can't do it. I don't know why. I don't know how anyone
he's just
thought
talking.
He was
He
smart.
doesn't listen. He's just talking. Maybe he's a genius, but he's definitely not a wise man. We know that. You know, a genius is a genius is a person, I guess, with a high IQ. I know a lot of people with very high IQ, but they are dumb as hell when it comes to EQ. They think it's about what they know.
Right. That's the norm, though. I had that issue once upon a time. Very intelligent. Very intelligent, but my EQ, emotional intelligence, it was in the toilet, dude. It was hit with a brick.
I think we've all been through that. Especially men, you know, because everything is factual and logical for us, right?
Right. And for me, I have a need for things to make sense.
Yeah.
Like
like now.
Exactly. And this whole thing with Kanye does not make sense. And he didn't say, people like, yeah, but listen to what he said. I'm like, so what? He's the only one who would say this kind of stuff. I'm like, no, he's not the only one who said this. Malcolm X used to say this. Martin Luther King used to say this. W.E.B. Du Bois used to say this. Like, he's not the first person to say these things. And he won't be the last. Yeah. But I tell you what, this tells me that people are not learning the lesson. Yeah. It's like you and I had this conversation, but you know, offline, Ola, when you told me that people don't understand power.
Black men don't understand power.
Black men don't understand power. And here is the lesson. This is a perfect example to see. And I said this on another panel. I said, this is what power looks like, by the way.
Yeah, this is it right here.
This is what This is what power looks like. This is what power does. I said, I'm not mad at them for doing this to him because this is what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Power was supposed to respond this way.
The power don't give a shit if they're wrong. They will destroy you.
Exactly. The power doesn't give a shit if they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? This is what we should be doing to everyone who says the N-word that we don't like.
Thank you. We're not asking people to commit crime. Cancelled. Right. At least cancelled.
Exactly. But no, someone could call us the N-word left, right, and center. We're still going to go out and buy their products.
Yeah. Just because it feels good. You're entertained. Love and hip hop. You know?
Exactly. That nonsense.
You keep bullshit on TV, painting you. Somebody calls it out, but you want to come around and tell me that no, a white girl should run the show. Dumbass. I'm throwing shade.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about right or wrong. We know what right and wrong is. It's about, as a people, you become less powerless. You become powerless and powerless and powerless when you don't understand the principles that guide this world. It's correction, under correction, over correction, equilibrium. It doesn't give a shit about right and wrong. It doesn't. It has to balance out somehow, some way. And if it balancing out means that your group of people has to be subjugated, so be it. So be it. It has nothing to do with your right and wrong because that's based off of moral standards and that varies from culture to culture, from religion to religion. But we know we live in a global village right now. You know, so it's quite interesting. I think myself, I think you, I think what's his name? Mr. Lego call out the bullshit with Kanye long before he lost all that money. You know?
Yeah, I was calling him out too. People were talking about he was a genius. I was like, no, he's not.
I'm not sure if anyone else was doing it. I think it was just those three, me, you, and Mr.
Lego.
Mr. Lego, yeah, was calling it out. You know, like, okay, this is bullshit.
It is complete. Yeah. I mean, and now that you're being canceled, you lost your fortune. How do you look? Like, okay, the first week he loses 1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Then the next week, in one day, he lost $2 billion.
Oh wow! I didn't realize that. So my numbers were off. Same thing. Potato. Same
right.
shit. He was left with under $100 million in his account. See, this is another lesson right now, right? In terms of money, your net worth is real, but it's not cash, obviously, right? But it's real in terms of the people, the powers that be, that are measuring authority, credibility, your credibility in the marketplace. They're using it to gauge how viable, how marketable you are. And usually you get, if you've ever been hit with overdraft charges at the bank before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you go broke, when you get to like $5, it's only hours before you get hit with the first $35 or $30 from, depending on your bank, right? Mm-hmm. You just, everything just start going crazy and mad. You get hit with all those negatives at the same time. He said he got hit with the $40 million bill that he didn't realize was there. And then there was another $27 million tax bill from the IRS almost instantly. You know, it just feels like everything started to befall you, like all your enemies came for you at the same time. No, dude, you were running your mouth just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and the thing is, he was ill prepared for that, to have that to say those things in public. Now, if he wants to say those things in public, okay, cool, but you have to prepare for the inevitable.
Yes, you have to know there's a price. There's a price.
Right. Here's the thing, like with his clothing line, this guy had years and where he accumulated billions, right? He amassed a fortune. And he never took that money or his net worth and leveraged it so that he can build it, so he can build an infrastructure. For example, what I mean by that is he could build his own manufacturing plant. Hire his own employees, seamstresses and experts to manufacture his clothes here in the United States or abroad if he wanted to. But he doesn't have that. So now he's still relying on other companies that he made business deals with and to manufacture his clothing. See, he's not a genius. He didn't do that. Now, had he done that, he'd have still been able to manufacture his own products.
Yep.
And so if he lost out on this deal and everyone left him, at least he could still manufacture his own products. And it'd have been a big loss, but it would not have been the end of the world. He could still survive. Now he's still beholden to other people still, because he has to depend on the people he talked about, the Jewish people. He has to depend on them for record deals, distribution. He never invested in himself.
Everything.
He had the money. He had the money, the time, the influence. He had everything he needed to do that himself. Right. He did not do it, and now he's out here.
He was busy professing to everyone that he's a billionaire.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm the hottest artist of all time. You know what I mean? It's like, no, but you're still an idiot, because why aren't you investing in yourself? And then here's the thing. His lawyer left him. I'm like, why? Yeah, I'm like, why? All these people who left him, I'm like, why didn't he hire black people? Since he's so cultured and he loves black people. Of course, And why didn't he have his money in a black bank? And the thing is, if he's worth $6 billion, why didn't you build your own bank?
Let me tell you something, Mindro. It doesn't work. See, this is why I keep telling us, get yourself off of that pedestal if you're a human being, right? You know what we all do, right? We start to feel invincible. Once we accomplish a little bit of success, right? We start to feel invincible. It could be just 10,000 YouTube subscribers, right? You start to feel a little bit like, oh, because clearly only a few people get to that level, right? So you start to feel like, until one day YouTube presses one button and then your channel is gone, wiped out. That has happened a few times in this space. You see what I'm saying? So you're absolutely correct, but the human brain don't work like that. My brother was saying it yesterday that he could bounce back. He could literally go to China right now and build his own infrastructure. I was like, if he could cash wise, but if he could mentally wise, he would have done it.
And my thing is, why didn't he do that when he had the capital to do it? He doesn't see. What people don't know is getting into textiles. It's a very expensive process. Upfront, like you're upfront, but the money that you're gonna pay upfront is it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
He to build his own manufacturing plant and things like that in China. Why would he do it in China? He'd be better off doing it in Africa. Since he loves black people.
It's not going to do that.
No, but here's the thing. He'd be better doing business in like Nigeria or Tanzania, somewhere like that. He'd be better off doing business in Africa because finally Africa is on the come up.
It's an emerging market, heavy, but Kanye is not that guy, man.
He's not. He's not smart enough to do that, and he has not taken the time. All these years he's been making money. He's not taking the time to learn the business.
Kanye is not no Akon, man. Kanye is not Akon.
No, Akon's been doing the right thing. Yeah, that's why Akon. I don't think Akon would ever run out of money.
Ever, because if Forbes can't find. They can't find 3/4 of his money. They can't find it, so they're not going to put him on the list. They'll put him somewhere, but it's not going to be on the billionaire list. That's why, to a large extent, you have to have foresight, right? You need to have foresight. For you to be a Kanye and go to Africa, you have to have foresight. You know, somebody was saying something about the going to China. It's not, even if he goes to China at this point, those power that be that just canceled him right now, they canceled him over there as well.
Because think about this. Think about this. He goes to China, right?
Right.
And he does business with them. He still has to have his product shipped here. What happens when he gets stuck in customs?
Yeah, exactly.
I've had things stuck, a product stuck in customs for years. I still haven't gotten it.
That's what I call the exposure.
Right. Yep. Like I've had stuff stuck in customs right now since 2020.
Yeah,
still ain't got it. So and it's for a nonsensical reason. I mean, it's like, okay, turn in this paperwork and that paperwork. We see proof of it. I turn in all of it within 24 hours. They have everything they need. I called to confirm that they have it.
It wasn't.
They say yes, we have it. Okay, cool. Now, how about we ship this product? Okay, wait, we have to wait till it goes through the process. Due process. Yeah. I called once a week for 8 months, and I got the same thing. Well, we're backed up because of COVID, and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. We got a lot of paperwork to go through, and I'm like, okay, they just stole it. Yeah. That's what I chalked it up to. I just said, okay, they must have stolen it. So that was money lost. And the thing is, those people the people he was talking about, they could do that. They could hold his products up at customs and make life miserable for him. Yeah, that's why getting it manufactured here in the United States is the
it's all legal
way. It is all legal. Exactly, all legal.
They make your life miserable, and it's all legal.
Yes, and that's why getting your products manufactured here in the U.S. is optimal. It may cost more up front, but you save on the back end. You don't have shipping, you don't have freight, you don't have customs fees, you don't have to pay the duty. You know what I'm saying? So. And that's what I'm working towards as well, building a manufacturing plant. It's going to take a while, but hey, I mean, nothing worth having comes easy.
Yeah. So this is I want to go back to what you said earlier, which is this is a perfect example of what we've been talking about. The black man needs to understand that physical aggression is your least of leverages.
Yes.
Verbal aggression is your least of leverages. It could be, but very rarely. Your power to negotiate, your ability to negotiate start long before you open your mouth. Your leverage, you need to identify what your actual leverage points are. It's not about being able to talk louder. If you are able to talk louder, there's a good chance that you're the least powerful person in the room. Yep. You're just going to give away all the ammunitions. You're going to hand the gun over to shoot you. Basically. With your own mouth. That's something that black men need to understand. When I started this session by talking about the power that women have over men. Women can absolutely destroy you.
Oh yes, definitely.
But it's by opening your mouth usually. It's you handed the gun over yourself. It's usually because you're trying to being aggressive. Sometimes it's passive aggression. that you're slick mouthed and she just go quiet, and then she dump your ass 5 years before she actually pulls the trigger, and then you run around and say 80% of the divorces are initiated by women. That's actually, that point is already too late. You're right, but at that point it's actually she already left you 3 to 5 years before that point.
Exactly. She left that relationship a long time ago.
So if we're in that generation, we have to be a little bit more intuitive. We have to be emotionally intelligent. We can't afford to say, oh, you got to read minds. Yeah, okay. You have to learn how to read minds, precisely. Okay. 3 years ago, we said, no, exactly. You don't have to learn how to read mind exactly. Now, I'm telling you, it's 2022 right now. You need to see a lot of things ahead of time. How are you going to do that if you're busy talking like Kanye? If all you're doing is just talking, Yep. So it's obvious. To me, it's obvious what just happened. It's not if Bill Cosby could get destroyed. You know how powerful Bill Cosby is in Hollywood? You have any idea how powerful he was?
Exactly. And they locked him up with no evidence, Ola. All they had was word of mouth.
Just like that. It made no sense to me. Like, listen, I actually believe he did a lot of those things, but I'm talking from a pragmatic legal standpoint. Where, people can just talk and that's it. It's over.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Ola. Do I think he did a lot of that? Yes, I agree with you, Ola. I think he did a lot of the things he was accused of. However, in a court of law, you're still supposed to prove it. And no one can prove it because it's been too long. Too much time has passed. How do you prove that? They just took these women's word for it. And
they still hid him away for how many years before he was able to get out a little bit?
I think it's like three years or something like that.
3 years out of somebody's last leg of their life. Can you imagine that? Right?
And you took 3 years out of this man was like 80 years old when he went in. Yeah. Come on, you lock away an 80-year-old man.
80 years old. What does that tell us as black men? We have a long way to go. And the last thing we want to do is to be competing with women. That's the last thing we want to be doing. I don't care if the women are wrong. I'm telling you, that's the last thing you want to be doing. Let's hang out with me. I want to go through the women. I want to know your take on this women.
Okay.
The women in his life, right? And let me first of all play this, right? I need to play this.
Yeah. Yeah, he wrong for saying that about Georgie, but let's let him make it and keep the focus on the message. At the expense of demeaning my family and my people, nah. And then again, y'all wrong for even saying it's the messenger. He ain't the messenger. He ain't the one to give the message. You can't lose your girl and all of a sudden become woke because you mad because somebody took your girl. Now all of a sudden you become woke. It don't work like that. And you ain't the messenger, bruh. It's people out there that spent their whole life on the betterment of black people. Speaking on the betterment of black people. If the minister talking, yeah, we listen. Because he know he been spending his life for the betterment of black people. Ain't nobody finna listen to you. Mad because your girl wanted to leave. You bipolar. And now you want to be woke because you tender. Out of here.
I have a question, Mindrell. Why did everyone forget that this guy just got dumped just a few weeks to a few months ago by his girl?
I didn't forget.
Why the rest of them? Why did they forget? Like, why are we capping big time? Like, this guy does not have a lot of issues going on that goes back to his own family.
Yeah, I think that people enable him, and they make excuses for him.
It's terrible.
It is terrible. And people are like, well, he's bipolar. He has mental health issues. I'm like, no, okay, he might have them, but this guy also knows what he's doing. He's cognizant of his behavior. So I can't give him grace on that.
So there are 5 women that I want us to talk about that he had some sort of relationship with. the first Bhagavad, you're very close. You're very close. It's like you're thinking for me already.
Mm-hmm.
The first is Donda, right? That's the mother, right?
Right.
What kind of relationship how would you describe relationship that Kanye had with his mother?
I think it's a relationship with his mother was very close. Because I think it's unanimous. Everyone agrees that he's never been the same after she passed away. That seems to be the excuse everyone uses. Well, his mom died. Okay, a lot of people's moms die. People's moms die every day. They don't behave this way though.
Yeah, excuses are exactly that. They don't discount the fact that you're a grown man.
Right.
And you have to move a certain way, or you could be destroyed by the powers that be. The excuses, they stay cute. They're cute. Their excuses, they're all legit. Nice. Good. You're right. Nonetheless, you'll be destroyed by this society if you don't get it together, you know? So yeah, right. I agree with that. He had a very close relationship with his mother, but you know, there was no father, right?
Not to my knowledge, no. Not in his especially in his formative years.
Years.
Yeah, he had no father. His father's in his life now. To my understanding, I think his mother kind of kept him away from his father. And
yes. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and it was that kind of situation going on with his father. It's probably the chief reason why his father wasn't in his life. Probably, but that's just speculation on my part. I don't have any evidence to it, but that's the way it sounds when you listen to the story. You know,
right.
So you have that one. You have that situation going with his mother. I think he was very close to his mother. He says he was, and I believe it. And you do see a clear difference in his conduct after his mother's passing. You do. I have to agree with people on that.
Right. It looks like he's trying to cover something up. He's going through a lot of pain inside, but he's trying to use this whole billionaire, I'm a genius thing. I'm just say whatever I want. Judge Bush don't care about black people. All this. He's been going for a while since 2004, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Which would everyone appreciated that to an extent, but then it's like all over the place, you know. The MAGA hat just a few years back, you know.
Right. And how you go from George Bush doesn't care about black people to wearing a MAGA hat? And now he's this ultra conservative person who thinks he's been tricked by the Democrats. Well, I mean, how did they trick you? The politicians, they're supposed to lie. Yeah, that's my thing. They're politicians. They're supposed to lie.
Yeah, that's
why
normal.
would you? Right?
That's
why would you believe?
Normal.
Why would you believe them in the first place? They're politicians.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah, I wonder if that's one of the reasons why they call him a genius, because Judge Bush don't care about black people. I'm not sure if that's a profound statement. I think we all knew that kind of.
Exactly. He's a politician. Of course, he doesn't care. I mean, you got Ronald Reagan who said that black people don't deserve reparations, but he turns around and gives reparations to the Japanese.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
what else do we need? What else do we need?
Exactly. So I'm like, okay. So he says what he says about Jewish people. I'm like, yeah, we know. He's not saying anything that we don't already know. Yeah, but he's the first person to say it out loud. No, he is not.
No, it's not. He's the first dumbass who did business with them, did business with the devil, and come back to cry about it. You could say that.
Exactly. Yes.
You could say that.
He did business with him and then said that stuff. It's like, okay, the other people who said it, they were smart enough not to get in business with him.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. The second person I want to talk about is Amber Rose. He's been with quite a few people as far as romantic concern, right? Mm-hmm. What is your take on his relationship with Amber Rose? I think that's like the first very popular relationship he had.
Yeah, I think that relationship was something that was temporary. She was arm candy for him, but at the same time, he took her in there as arm candy, right? Like he thought he was doing something. Mm-hmm. He thought he was bringing in this beautiful woman, this
pretty chick that's
right.
You know.
But the thing is, she was a stripper. So the second I found that out, I was like, okay, she's an attractive woman. But then I found out she was a stripper. I said, oh, why would he take her to events like that? That's not, that relationship isn't going to last long.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I was right. But I'm not mad at Amber Rose. She did what she was supposed to do.
Yeah.
She got in those rooms with those celebrities, and she worked that room and made herself popular.
She did. That's how she popped.
That's how she popped. Yes. And like I said, I cannot be mad at her for that.
So is it fair to say that Kanye is true? Because I think everything he's saying is true. It's just that it's not wise, right?
Not at all.
Is it true that he's being used by all these people?
I think that he let them do it, because my thing is, I think he does not have very good taste in women when it comes to character, a woman's character.
Right.
Look at Amber Rose. She's a stripper, right? She's used to the nightlife. Right. You know what kind of woman that is. Come on, exactly. You know she's going to get in those rooms and work the room and make herself valuable to those people in some way, however way she can. Because she's in a room.
Guess who's going to be mad about that when that happens?
Kanye. Yeah. And the thing is, like I said, you cannot blame her. She's supposed to do that.
That's who she was. You knew exactly what you were getting into.
She's in a room full of millionaires.
Again, a trend, a pattern of somebody doing business with the devil and then coming back to cry about it.
Right. She's in a room full of millionaires. She's supposed to do that. She will be a fool not to. That's my thing. Like, that's why I can't be mad at her. I'm like, she'd be a fool not to. She's in a room full of millionaires. How often of an opportunity do you get when it comes to that? So, yes, she shook hands, exchanged business cards, met people, talked,
right, and
then she had she made herself a few $1 million, a few million,
right,
just off just being with Kanye. Like, she's not a singer, she's not an entertainer.
No, she literally is a professional slut.
Right, like how is she even popular? Like that's a good question. How is she even popular?
She got popular because of Kanye, and I think the only thing that we know with her after that is the slut walk, which was the slut walk, right? But she was a stripper. She's exactly what she was. Nobody's judging her. What we're talking about here is Kanye, right? You do business with the devil. You should know. It's like a lot of people in Nigeria, in our Nigerian society, they go do Yahoo fraud and do ritual. They go meet ritual doctors and stuff like that, and then they're surprised like there's a cost to it. Like, dude, it's a price for everything, literally.
Exactly, and you can't complain once you get caught up.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, the other person I want to talk about is Candace Owens.
Oh God!
Based on what we saw that just a few weeks ago, what do you think Kanye's? What would you say about his relationship with this woman? In that short period of time.
It's not going to last long. It's not going to last long. Candace is going to turn on him.
It's over already. She already turned on him.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
I know she went on Twitter defending him, but I think that's about all it's going to be, At one point, he was negotiating to buy Parler, the app for the right.
Yeah, a no-name right-wing platform that no one uses.
Yeah, and then there was rumors that her husband is part owners of Parler.
Okay, there he is. So, this is with the wrong people again.
So again, he's being used again. He's being used again, and we're talking about the most powerful black man right now, right? At some point, as far as economically speaking. Right?
No, not anymore.
Not now. Sometimes last week.
Yeah, exactly. Sometime last week, baby. But not anymore.
Yeah, it's like right now, no one wants to touch right now, and that's the way it works in life. Everybody turns their back on you. No one wants to touch. That's how it works. Last person I want to put on this list before I pull out this whole list. The second to the last person is Kris Jenner. What do you think about his relationship with Kris Jenner?
I think for a while he was following the instructions. of Kris
He
Jenner.
was following the instructions.
That woman runs that household. She runs that family. Okay.
Do you think it would be wiser for him to just follow instructions from Kris Jenner?
No, I mean, take her advice. She's a savvy businesswoman, but it depends on what kind of advice. What subject are you taking the advice on? You know what I mean? Like, for instance, that family did help him because when he married Kim, he was like $52 million in debt. But then Kim gave him $52 million. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that family did help him with business. And I think that's where it should have stopped. Mm-hmm. And if he's going to marry someone like a Kim K, mm-hmm. you can't marry a woman who listens to her mother that much. Because you have to understand, you have to be the man of the house. You have to be. You know what I'm saying? Two bulls can't rule in one pen.
I think even the ladies listening to me. Oh, by the way, we're 87% women on this platform.
Oh, nice.
Right. I think even the ladies listening will be like, you entered the wrong family, okay?
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. Now, here's my thing. Also, with Amber Rose,
right,
and Kim K, because I think she's going to be next. But I don't know why. But Kris Jenner came up. What do you mean? I think that's the next woman you're going to ask me about in his life. Kim.
Kim is next, yes. Kim
yeah. I think Kim and Kris kind of run synonymous with one another.
Before you say that, listen to this. Let's listen to this again. It's very important to listen to this.
Yeah, he wrong for saying that about Georgie, but let's let him make it and keep the focus on the message. At the expense of demeaning my family and my people, nah. And then again, y'all wrong for even saying it's the messenger. He ain't the messenger. He ain't the one to give the message. You can't lose your girl and all of a sudden become woke because you mad because somebody took your girl. Now all of a sudden you become woke. It don't work like that. And you ain't the messenger, bruh. It's people out there that spent their whole life on the betterment of black people. Speaking on the betterment of black people. If the minister talking, yeah, we listen. Because he know he been spending his life for the betterment of black people. Ain't nobody finna listen to you. Man, because your girl wanted to leave, you bipolar, and now you want to be woke because you tender out of here.
Yeah, I know a few people who call the minister the simp and call Kanye the genius. Only on this YouTube streets.
Right.
Go ahead, bro. Exactly. What do you think about this guy's relationship with his ex now?
I mean, his ex now. I mean, it follows a pattern, doesn't it? Like, only thing he marries is sluts, or fool with his sluts.
And he's supposed to be the messenger.
Right, he's supposed to be the messenger. But look, he gets all this money. He talks about black people. He loves black people. He loves black culture. But as soon as he gets rich, he actively sought out Kim.
Yeah, literally. He waited. Right. He was in friend zone for years. He waited.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And he made it publicly known that he wanted to be with her. Mm-hmm. And she was known for doing a sex tape. Like, that's how she got popular, by doing a sex tape.
That's how she became popular. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so my thing is, it wasn't just a white woman that he left the sisters for. Didn't marry a sister. He didn't get rich and marry a sister. You know what I'm saying? He got rich and married an Arab woman. You know what I'm saying? People like, oh, she's Armenian. Yeah, Armenians are Arabs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
white.
Kinda. Yeah, white. Yeah. In America, they're classified as white. So anyway, yeah. So my thing is, yeah. So why black women support him? I don't know. He abandoned them first. He abandoned black women first. So I mean, also he married the sluttiest one, the biggest thought in Hollywood. She's known for having sex with people. Nick Cannon, Ray J. All of these there's other guys.
Reggie Bush, a bunch of other people.
Yeah, and so she's known for that. And I'm like, that's what he married? So I mean, this is a pattern with him. He dated a stripper, made her, and she got famous, riding off his coattails. You know what I mean? And then immediately after Kim, he dated some other white woman who's, you know, promiscuous. I was like, look, bro, come on, look. And just because, no one stole his girl. She left him because he's bipolar, and she couldn't deal with that. And I don't blame Kim. A lot of people can't deal with someone who suffers from bipolar disorder. It is rough to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really hold that against her.
And then as soon as Kim dumped him, he went and found a caricature of Kim.
Right.
I'm like, this dude, man, like, listen, in Nigeria, we call them money misroad. Okay, money misroad meaning that money was probably on his way and he just missed the road and then landed on the wrong lap, basically. You know, that's what Kanye is. Kanye is not an intentional guy. Maybe from a creative standpoint, that's about it.
But what's he creating? I think he's hit writer's. I think he's hit writer's block. His music has not been good for a long time.
Yeah, I don't follow his music that much, but
neither do I. I lost interest. Like that's what I mean. Yeah. Like I even lost interest in his music. I'm like, this isn't good. This was years and years ago, right? I think his first album was really good. It was really good. His first album, and since then, it's been a lot of good singles, like a song here, a song that, but an actual full album that was good. I think it was his first one. It can be debated. His second one was really good. I don't think so. I think his second one was just okay. He had some good songs on there, but the whole album wasn't good. The first album was good, but after that, it's been a few songs here and there that were good. But that's it. I mean,
I'm a fan of hip hop, but not rap. You know, if you're quite hardcore, and I'm not really a fan of lyricists like that. You know, so I can't really judge him on the music wise, but. It's rock stardom or superstardom has gone beyond just music, obviously in the past few years. And the way he moves, no, I don't need to overanalyze Kanye West. He comes off as lame to me. I don't need to overanalyze it to see that. And it's not enough to label a person a genius. You could label him a genius because he wrote 2 songs that were just that powerful, or he signed a deal with Adidas instead of Nike. But I mean, look at the outcome. We're judged by the results we make, man. We're judged by the results we create as men, not by everything in between. You know, we're judged by everything in between as well too. But we just gotta look at everything from this point up into the past. So I really personally hope that he makes a bounce back. You know, I think it would be much more useful for the rest of us for him to be out here teaching people how not to be stupid.
Exactly.
But you know, I'm not sure because you offend the wrong people. You know, it's just best. Some people never come. Most people that will go through this kind of stuff, they're never coming back from it, man. Like never. You know, because literally the market doesn't want to touch you. And without the market, you're useless, literally.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. What do you do when people won't bank with you? What do you do when people banks won't lend you money? What do you do when people won't let you invest? What do you do when people won't do business with you of any kind? Yeah. You can't earn a living and nothing. There's nothing you can do. When a bank doesn't want to bank with a billionaire, when they say they don't want the money, you've really messed up.
Yeah.
They don't want. Wait, you don't want the money? No, keep your money. You're out.
Yeah.
What? And Adidas said, okay, we don't want the money. We'll take the $250 million hit. $250 million dollar loss they took just to get rid of him.
Yeah.
When they don't care about when they don't get. I'm talking about the established order. You know what I mean? The people in power. When they don't care about the money. You've really messed up.
They don't care about the money above the people, period. If enough people come, I remember some year, about a decade ago, a little bit more than a decade ago, I remember the Star and Buckwide taking over the radio waves of New York City. What did they do? They offended the wrong people. They offended, I think, the Asia people in New York. That was that. He had a $5 million deal or something like that. It was wiped out overnight, just like that. He never made it since then. He ended up on YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. But he never made it out of that. I said, like, this was supposed to be the Charlemagne of New York City at that time because of the party mouth. You know, he was very witty with his words on the radio. But he crossed the wrong line and he was destroyed just like that. Right. I don't care what kind of deal you signed. That deal can become zero just like that. It's vanity.
And here's the thing, for him to be such a genius, he doesn't own Yeezy, which is the clothing brand that he had. He doesn't own it.
Somebody's gonna need to define this genius thing for me, because
exactly
it's
you
not
signed a
lining
deal.
up.
You signed a deal where you don't own your own name, your own clothing brand. Where's the genius level intellect? I want to know. I thought maybe you could help me, Ola, but no,
it's not lining up for me too. It's just that for me, I'm okay with settling for genius as a label. People label themselves whatever they want. They use simp, they use genius, they use speak me. They just start creating labels. But you know what's the real truth? The outcome, your reality, the result you're creating is the real truth. So I don't get attached to labels, you know. That's why when you say, oh, somebody is a simp, I say, what do you mean? Oh, because they're married. Okay, you're a dumbass, but let's keep moving. You know, but I actually have to wait and say, well, somebody's a genius. What do you mean? Or because it's speaking up to the power. Wait, he did business with the power. What do you mean? Oh, I don't care. Like,
right.
All right.
And while he's doing business with the power, he talks trash.
He talks shit about his own people.
Right. Those are your business partners, dude. Are you publicly come out and say crazy stuff about them? Of course, they're supposed to break ties with you.
Jesus Christ.
There's a point, Ola, where money, like you, I think you've heard me say this. Forget his money. Money doesn't move me. I like money.
Somebody said Kanye is dating Candace now. Jesus, take the wheel. I just can't tell them. No, they're not dating. I said relationship. I didn't mean romantic relationship. But
no, they're friends.
Yeah,
Candace and him, friends. Yeah. Now, he said that crazy stuff about George Floyd. You know what I mean? And he got his information from a documentary made by Candace Owens. Now, there's a person who doesn't even believe in the rhetoric that she spews. On her own on her show, she doesn't believe it. Like, she says that just for the paycheck. She's a literal sellout,
right?
You know, she talks trash about black people. She doesn't talk about Jewish people. Actively. She doesn't talk. She doesn't talk about Jewish people or white people or any other race.
Yeah,
she just talks bad about black people.
Yeah,
I mean, my thing is, good grief, people. I mean.
I can understand trying to get black people to act right, to, you know, but dude, there's always going to be, in this society we live in, there's always going to be a need for empathy when you're addressing certain topics. Yeah. If you say fuck empathy, I'm just going to say the truth. You're lame. I'm just telling you straight up right now, because again, the people you are speaking to, your message is not landing. So that, what does that make you? If your message is not going to land, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to speak the message into air anyway. That's what I call lame. That's lack of game. On the other extreme, other end of it, like the Black Lives Matter, the organization that they're stealing money, to me personally, like they're frauds, okay? That's what that is. But when you want to correct that and you go to the extreme other end, that's what I call lame. Because at the end of the day, whatever message you're trying to pass, it needs to land. If it's not landing, you don't understand the game you're playing. You're dealing with human beings. Human beings don't give a shit about anything outside of their feelings. And if you don't have empathy, what makes you think they're going to listen to you? You may create your own little echo chamber that like to speak your own same talking points, but you're not creating any impact just because you're running your mouth. You're feeling good about running your mouth, you know. But I want to cover this. I want to get to the lessons that, because, you know, we're going to shout out to all the conversation in the chat. I see that. Let's get into James 3. This is not church, okay? But this is some powerful words here that I felt like might correlate. I'm reading it with you for the first time in a long time. So let's get into it, right? James 3. Not many of you should presume to be teachers, my brothers, because you know that we who teach will be judged more strictly. Your expectations, okay? You will be judged when you're a teacher. I will be judged. It's only a matter of time. Somebody's going to come back here and dig up all 200 of the videos before they find me and then judge it. That's my expectations. If you understand human beings, that's how it is. Okay? For every time you say one thing, somebody's taking an offense to it. That should be your expectation, especially if you're a man. We all stumble in many ways. If anyone is never at fault in what he says, he's a perfect man, able to keep his whole body in check. When we put bits into the mouth of horses to make them obey us, we can turn the whole animal. Or take sheep as an example. Although they are so large and driven by strong winds, they are steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. Likewise, I think this is the part that we need to find. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. $1.6 billion. Let that ring. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole person, sets the whole course of his life on fire, and is itself set on fire by hell. All kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, creatures of the sea are being tamed and are being tamed by men, but no man can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil, full of deadly poison. Pay attention, your tongue. Pay attention. Ladies, your tongue, your marriage, your relationship, the power of life and death. Enuebo. With the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it curse men. We curse men who have been made in God's likeness. Out of the same mouth, like everything in life, by the way, two-edged sword. Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My brothers, this should not be. Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same spring? Except if it's the tongue. But again, people are judging you off of your consistency, right? You can lose everything just like that, right? My brothers, can a fig tree bear olives or a grapevine bear figs? Neither can a salt spring produce fresh water. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show it by his good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. If somebody is quiet and you're doing most of the talking, it doesn't always mean anything really, but it could mean something. You're probably the sucker, okay? Probably. Just a chance. Be aware. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your heart, do not boast about it and deny the truth. He said it himself, right? It wasn't Christ-like. Okay? Such wisdom does not come down from heaven, but is earthly, unspiritual, of the devil. For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, empathy, submissive. Okay, submissive. It's not a deadly word. Okay, it's structure, it's order, right? Hierarchy, right? Context matters, right? Full of mercy and good fruit. Okay, impartial, sincere. It may not look like good fruits in terrain, right? Maybe it doesn't look like good fruits right now. Maybe because you're a prophet. Maybe in about 2,000 years from now, we'll be worshiping you like Jesus. Maybe we just don't know. But you better know what the hell you're doing. Okay? Peacemakers who sow in peace raise a harvest of righteousness. You're not smarter than quiet people. That's all I'm saying. You're not smarter than quiet people. You may be, but it's a maybe. You know? Yeah, so that's that. You know, I want to finish playing this video. I'm going to finish playing this video and then we can have some last words really quickly. Let me play this really quickly. There you go.
Let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. When the idea of Black Lives Matter came out, it made us come together as a people. Now afterwards, yes, there were some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us to the Democratic vote. There were people behind it involved. That happened, but the general feeling So when I said that, and I questioned the death of George Floyd, it hurt my people. It hurt the black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them, because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing.
The interpretation of that is that if I didn't lose all this money, I wouldn't know. And that makes it all a terrible apology.
I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now.
See, oh, you smart.
That's also disrespectful. Losing $1.6 billion is not the same thing as having a knee on your neck and losing your life. This is the problem when you keep talking. Even though you mean well, you mean no harm, right? You're going to self-sabotage and hurt yourself. Kris Jenner normally issue they fear her. Exactly, right?
So I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest black man ever be humbled other than...
I could be wrong. I don't want to judge him, but every time he says God, it still sounds like arrogance. He just needs to shut up and go and pray to God in his quiet sanctity of his home on a mountain somewhere. That's what he needs to do. He needs to be quiet, not involving attention from the public. For every time he says God, that's what I'm reading, you know? There's a lot of us that do that, you know? Again, labels are labels. With all due respect to the name of God. You have to be able to see people and see what fruits they're showing forth. That's more of the truth, right? He can't shut up. He's restless. He can't sit still. The same thing that we kind of like about him. The market is resenting it right now. I say that all the time. The same thing that people will like about you. Your sassy mouth, nasty, pouty mouth can end up destroying you, because when they end up on the receiving end of it, it's going to be ugly.
To be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEFCON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed.
Yeah.
I must have needed that extra defense.
No, obviously you were right all along. You're still right. But the outcome is bad.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
How, Frank? Yeah, well, stop. I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God is alive. Amen. God runs the world. Amen. You know, God even runs Hollywood. Amen. God is alive. Amen. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes, and I had the Red October, and my girl...
Yeah, that wasn't George Floyd. That's George Floyd's brother. That's George Floyd's brother speaking for the family. Yeah, it's still being very disrespectful. The knee on the neck analogy is bad. That's what happens when you don't know how to shut up. There's only one thing that Kanye needs to do for 6 months. Shut up. He can make all the other business moves behind the scenes. He's going to be fine. He can even become worth $10 billion a few months from now. Because again, it's just money value. Monetary value is fickle. He has the brand, you know? So, he just needs to shut up. We can't shut the black man down. That's wrong. You're right, too.
Today, the number one cause of death for black people in America is abortion. The most dangerous place for a black man today, or black baby, black woman, is in the... Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for the voice. Thank you for the clarity. Thank you for the experience. And thank you for the love. Because even though
it's actually heart disease.
Make a document.
You said what?
It's actually heart disease. The number one killer for black men.
Oh, it's heart disease, right? So I guess
It's
it's
just
I guess it's not counting because the authorities won't allow him to count that. That's what he's trying to claim right now, right? Because he's saying 20. He's saying let me. I didn't want to play the word abortion, but it's not a problem. Let's go for it.
You're being anti-black by saying
No, how?
Come on, man.
And that's the responsibility that I'm taking right diagnosis. And I didn't take the medication
Let's go
about
back
the
a little.
similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people.
Oh wait, you can say it. Just go ahead and say it.
Been a black man.
You already lost the
wearing
money.
a red hat.
Right.
When the
Let's go back a little bit.
God runs the world. Amen. You know, God even runs Hollywood.
Amen.
God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes when I had the Red October. And my girlfriend at the time was pregnant and I needed to get some money. Because if I was the kid that just had the red shoes, I could have never been a black man wearing a red hat.
Right.
When the like Nike would have shut me down immediately, right? But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself and to actually have a political opinion as an American. That I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat, and let's talk about the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor that died
But then he said it.
of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again. But because I didn't take the misdiagnosis and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. Now let me talk about the red hat. Wearing the MAGA hat, the way that Hollywood's political agenda attacked me and put me to a point of exhaustion was death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone would say something to me, from a driver to my ex-wife to Adidas. Everyone would say something. So when I wore that White Lives Matter, I said, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going. Hey, y'all gonna leave me alone about my t-shirt. Because what's the point of having influence and having money if people could come up and just pinch you?
But don't you think having influence, you have a responsibility?
And that's the responsibility that I'm taking right here.
No, you're not. He's not taking the responsibility. Because he's still using languages like knee on neck. He's still being offensive. And the thing is that you could be offensive to this one person. They may not say anything. You just don't know when you're going to. For every person you say something offensive to and they don't react, the more oblivious you are to the potential of destroying yourself when you end up saying it to the wrong person. That's what just happened. That's why we keep saying humility. That's why pride comes before the fall. Because it's all going to come from a blind spot. Because you got comfortable. The devil's going to make sure you're comfortable. By the time he pulls that rug from under you. You know? So he's not taking responsibility yet. Of course not. But I don't think it's in him to do that. But, never say never, right?
Don't you think
That's why you asked that question.
But don't you think it's dangerous rhetoric to be anti-Semitic, to say all lives matter or white lives matter?
Come on, man.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking.
No, wait, let me answer.
I'm asking an honest question.
Why is saying white lives matter anti-Semitic? That's what you just asked.
I'm not saying that's anti-Semitic.
No, you just said that, though.
No, and I misspoke. But I'm saying.
Okay, so what just happened there is that man behind the camera misspoke. He got stuck on it. Why wasn't it obvious that person misspoke? Especially after say, wait, I misspoke. But he was stuck on it. I know this kind of guys. They get stuck on semantics, exact logic, simple logic. They can't get past it. They'd rather die in the middle of that argument. You know? But let me give me a pass, because he did give it a pass, you know. But again, little things like this counts. It goes a long way.
No, you didn't. That was a Freudian slip.
I'm trying to correct myself.
Okay,
so I'm saying to walk around with white lives matter.
Do you want to walk back that statement?
Exactly.
Sure, I'll walk.
You got the chance to. You don't have the influence of responsibility.
At least it's laughing. Thank goodness.
Do you think maybe that
No, but I'm saying, you know, you're wearing the White Lives Matter shirt.
Come on, walk.
And Black Lives Matter, and a lot of people think that you're being anti-black by saying that.
No, how?
Come on, man.
What you mean let him talk? In America, black people don't take all the rights that we have that are actually given to us.
And that's true.
Because we weren't given what we were promised in the first.
Shut
I
up.
know my brothers, my engineers, my architects, my farmers are gonna rise up. And if it meant they had to take me and drag me like Emmett Till in front of everyone because I whistled, I know my brothers, my engineers, my architects, my scientists, my doctors are gonna rise up and create a power that can make sure that we're not separated like we are by the red media. That we're never in a situation where off of one tweet, they could take the most influential black person in the world and run him to the ground. When you see a documentary surviving Bill Cosby, surviving R. Kelly, surviving anybody, the red media made the documentary. I've never seen a black media make a documentary on a Jewish person.
Because they put you where you are.
You're right.
At my daughter's game,
You remember, Kanye is never wrong. It's not about that. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. He's never wrong. You know, that's precisely his problem. That's the only power he has. The right to not be wrong. Oh, sorry, the power to not be wrong. And that's what you're seeing display itself right now. You know?
Amy Lee Curtis said, I hope they take his children away. They want to take my children away. Today I was just thinking, as I was looking at my account, as Cohen Resnick hid $40 million of bills from me for just a time like this. This is the first year where I managed to keep my account above 100 million until I got hit with $27 million of taxes last week. Then my payroll got cut by Adidas immediately, which was against the contract. And then I flew 2 members of Cohen Resnick in last night, and they exposed the extra 40 million that they had been hiding from me of bills.
What's with all the creepy characters?
Just my old insurance choices haunting me.
What I'm saying is I'm being honest to you guys. I've been humbled, and I have no reason to lie. My family was taken away from me. My reputation has been smeared. So let's close with a prayer. Father God, thank you.
To me, I thought he was about to cry or something. And then he coughed, and then he started, let's close with a prayer. I thought if that was going to be a cry, I think that was a smart move. Because the last thing we want to see is Kanye cry in public. We don't want to see that, you know. What I want is for him to bounce back so that this can even be a greater lesson for the black man. That's what I want personally, you know.
Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for the voice. Thank you for the clarity. Thank you for the experience. And thank you for the love Because even though the real hate is what's happening on the media, and the idea of DEF CON was to get...
So I thought it was praying. Is it me or that was supposed to be a prayer? I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, you know? I don't mean to laugh. But I thought that was supposed to be a prayer. How did we get back in the red media and folding arms and then, Jesus Christ.
Protected for a time like this. Let's lead with love. I have no association to any hate group. If any hate happens upon any Jewish person, it is not associated, because I am demanding that everyone walk in love. Even though there's been things that have happened wrong to me that made me want to speak up, that you guys saw in the past 2 weeks. You saw the power. You saw Ari Emanuel come out in public and ask, if that happened in public, what do you think happened in private? And what do you think happened in private to so many people for so many years? But what I'm telling everyone, no matter what background you are, no matter what socioeconomic class you are, walk with love right now. Walk, do what God would want. What would Jesus do? Walk with love, spread happiness. I thought that I wasn't gonna be like MLK and stand there. There's times I felt very Malcolm X, but for some reason God has called me to love and to ask for love for everyone. It's time for us just to love, because love is the answer. It is the only way. Gandhi said, someone who was actually considered to be a racist, right? Gandhi said, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Jesus, Father God, spread the love. Put the love in our hearts, and know that we
went back to the prayer.
Enemy, but we're all children of you. And you can bring this world to a peaceful place on earth as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen. Love you guys. Good night.
Hey, man, we love you.
Oh, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Mindro, let me get some last word from you, man.
Final thoughts.
Yeah.
That's insane. It wasn't genuine. Good grief.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he needs to just be quiet and go somewhere quiet for a while.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier, Ola. Sometimes you have to go somewhere and be quiet and be still.
Be still, right? Be still. It's so hard to do too. Let me just, like, no cap. It's very hard to do. Especially when you know that you're right. You know? Especially when you're a Kanye West, right? I don't know, man, you know. But I think the lesson here for all of us, right? The lessons go back to the same lessons. Our mouth should be the slowest part of our body when it comes to action, you know. When it comes to communications, listening, we need to listen more. You know, we definitely need to listen more. And you can't, in this context, especially when we're talking about romantic relationships now, which is what we try to cover the most here, you can't be too quiet. You can become a doormat. But I'm willing to bet that that's not most people's issues. Most people's issues is that they talk too much, including the ladies too. You talk too much, and just listen more. You know, listen more. I think that's a good note to leave it on for Kanye West. I think for now, me personally, I think I'm not gonna touch any Kanye West story for another 6 months at least. I think I'm okay for now. But don't quote me on that. Something crazy happens, we'll have to talk about it. But I think nothing is gonna be crazier than losing more than $1 billion.
Yeah.
In a day. You know, that's a big deal. Like, let's not cap. That's a big deal. And he can lose his mind just like that, off of that alone. You know. So yeah, man. Thanks so much for coming up, man.
Okay, no matter. Thank you.
I still owe you a visit, man. Just just pardon me. But I'm gonna make it. I want to come hang out a whole day. How's Shishu doing, by the way? I haven't seen her in a minute.
Okay. All right. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk soon, man.
All right. Later.
All right, everyone. Last breakfast, last breakfast. Last breakfast. I think let me go through this because Eunice earlier you said this. Ola must have read all the books in school with those glasses. Ola actually strikes me as a very analytical, humble man. I am analytical, I am more analytical than I am just floating around this world, like a chicken like a dead chicken with a lost head. So, but it has a downside of it that I've experienced in the past. So I try to be aware that I'm analyzing stuff because overanalysis causes paralysis, Thank you. BC says a dog destiny is missing. A dog destiny to get is missing. Wait. A dog destiny to get missing. That's what you mean to say. We'll never hear. Wait. We'll never hear the hunter's whistle. Or a dog whose destiny is to get missing. Okay, there you go. I think it's a typo. He will never hear the whistle if his destiny is to get missing. Brother Patrick say, a dog heading for disaster will not yield to the hunter's whistle. That's closer. Yep. If it's meant to be, it is meant to be. That's one of the reasons why I don't like judging, because some things we're just not going to be able to stop it. In fact, the lessons are inside of it happening. Is it Mark 6:4? This was a good one. This was one of the verses that my father quoted yesterday. My father's an elder in the church, so it talks from this standpoint for the most part. So it was Mark 6:4. I always keep hearing a prophet is not honored in his own town. That's some of the justifications that people are using for Kanye West. It could be true, but we won't find out for another 50 years or 2,000 years. Okay? For now, it looks like a mad person that needs to just take some time off. Okay? And he's doing business with what he considers the devil. I don't know if we can empathize too much with that. He didn't even buy the rights to his music. I know. And he could afford to in the past few years, I think, Pierce must be having the last laugh. Yep, exactly. When your lawyer withdraws service, it's likely he's not listening to his legal advice. Yep. Does Kanye look like he will listen to someone's advice? Of course not. Right? Maybe after he hits rock bottom. Maybe $400 million is the rock bottom for him. Everyone's rock bottom is different. Maybe that's enough for him already. Maybe he's had it. He's not trying to save the whole world and at the same time trying to be right. The White Lives Matter thing is trying to be right. The George Bush doesn't care about black people thing is trying to save the whole world. The wisdom is somewhere in between. There's a loss of confidence and even a conflict of interest. Yeah, if they feel like they're about to lose money by associating with you, they will absolutely protect themselves. That's what you saw happen over the past few days. Okay. If the woman did not leave, he wouldn't have said he was used. Thank you. They all tend to come out and say they feel used, right? But yes, anyway, feel free to book a coaching with Lola and I if you want more hands-on coaching, training on how to navigate the world of romantic relationships, dating, relationships, marriage, divorce, complicated, and everything in between. Feel free. The book is absolutely free. You can get the book for free at www.getmymarriageback.com. If you want to hear our story, 135 pages of our story, Also available in audiobook, available in Kindle, available on Amazon, everywhere that they sell books online. You can find the book. It's called Get My Marriage Back, but you can get it for free downloadable PDF at www.getmymarriageback.com. Okay. And let me see. Yeah, shout out to all you. Shout out to all you for coming, for stopping by, for holding it down as usual. We're gonna pull out some hot topics over the next few days because I know what topics they want to hear. So, but you know, once in a while I have to plug in this kind of master classes because I feel like they are the most powerful, right? So do me a favor, on your way out, if you haven't done so, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.